Hey, welcome to my Betta breeding room. It's also called my kitchen. Okay, so I breed inside because it's warmer. Outside the weather gets really cold, and so at least inside it's the fries have a better chance of living. So here I breed in several different ways. So one is pale. So I put the male female in, cover it, and then after 1 or 2 days, they're done. Take the female out, and then wait until the fries hatch, and then take the male out. So here they are around 2 weeks old. Let me see. So there's one. They're here, but it's nighttime, so they're hiding inside the leaves. But here's a batch of them. So these are 2 weeks old. I put a small snail just to eat all the bad bacteria, but then you have to siphon off the poop of the snail. The snail poops a lot. And what I feed them is brine shrimp. So if you look here, I don't use any aerators. So I just put the eggs here, and after 1 day they hatch. Put a flashlight here and you'll see the brine shrimps. They're here, yeah. So they do hatch, and I don't need, the aerator is a hassle because every day I feed them fresh. So they're small, they have the nutrients, and that's what I feed the fry. So one container, then another container. I alternate. So it's easier to do it this way. I only use a small amount. If you notice, yeah, that's a small amount. Really, just a small amount of brine shrimp. I don't put a lot because I only use enough that can be eaten in 1 day. Okay. And if you look here, I have two breeding. This one, I'm not sure if there's eggs. I'm hoping there is. And waiting for the male to just take care of it. Here you will see this male is already taking care of the fry. So they're not eating the fry. They're picking up the fry and putting it up to the nest. So if you condition the male properly, meaning feed it live foods for 1 or 2 weeks straight, most likely they will not eat the eggs. They'll pick up the fry, put it up for the next 1 or 2 days until the fry can swim horizontally. Once the fry swims horizontally, I take away the male. So the female is gone once they're finished laying the eggs. And then the male, I take him away after the fries are free swimming horizontally. The reason I take him away is to make sure that the water doesn't get polluted. And also the male has not eaten for about 4 days already. Since that time I put him in the tank, so he might be hungry as well. And so I take him away and then take care of him, feed him. And then the fries, after first 2 days, I feed them infusoria. Those are the small microorganisms growing in plants in aquariums. So if you put a flashlight in an aquarium, you see little white dots swimming around. Those are infusoria. That's what I feed them. Then after 2 days of free swimming, I feed them brine shrimp. So that's around 5 days after they hatch. I start feeding brine shrimp. And that's my setup. And yeah, hope that helps. Some of the common questions, let's see. Okay, the color is like that because I put Indian almond leaves. So what I do is I just take the male, female, put them in, cover this with newspaper so there's no light, nothing to disturb them. I put them in around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and most likely by the next day before noon they're done. The eggs are in the bubble nest, and that's it. To me, that's That's the way it is. I don't, I don't bother with the tubes and all that thing. Yeah, if you cover it, I feel the male does not chase the female too much because maybe it's a little dark. So just cover and just take a look the next day to see if they're mating and if they're eggs. And once they're eggs and the female is in a corner, time to take her out. Yeah. So here, there's what's this? This is a hellboy. It's called a hellboy, and this one is probably a koi with some yellow things. This is the same father that did this batch, but I use a different female. So after 2 weeks, he was ready to breed again. He was able to breed again. That's for the male. Okay. Yeah. So now, if people, I see always people breed, they're successful to this stage, but then they have nothing to feed the fry. They talk about egg yolks, crushed pellets. Forget that. Just get this. Order this. This is not so expensive. This will last me quite a bit. This will last a long time. So just buy one. It's around, in my country, this is around 100 pesos for 10 grams. Buy it on Shopee, get it delivered to yours, with delivery fee less than 200 pesos. And this should be enough to get your fries to an adult stage. Meaning, yeah, I can use this for the first month, but then ideally, I would like to feed them daphnia. So daphnia, I think, is good for 1 month and older, but that's hard to find. So that's going to be my next challenge, where to find daphnia. But at least once they're 1 month old, you can feed them pellets or some other types of food. Maybe even small mosquito larvae is good enough. Tubifex worms, bloodworms, chop them up, all these things. So the key is to get them to be at least 1 month old, 4 weeks, and then they're more or less out of the danger zone. So right now, these are still in the danger zone. They're still, dying off a bit, but hopefully after 1 month, I'll have around 50. Good enough. The female was not full of eggs to begin with, so yeah, I'm just getting back, nothing to do at home. Might as well make my house look better with fishes. We can go around here. If you'll see, I have big fishes over there. 2 50-gallon tanks. Those have Oscars in them. Yeah. All right. So see you next time. My aquariums, I have a setup outside, but I'll do that for another video. So again, to summarize my breeding is get a male, get a female. The female should be slightly smaller than the male. For 2 weeks, just feed them live food. I feed them mosquito larvae or bloodworms. And then just chuck them in, prepare the tank. So 1 day in advance, put fresh water, Put in your Indian almond leaves. I put in some antifungus to make sure that there's no parasite, bacteria, I don't know. Just make sure the water is really clean so that the fries have a good chance of surviving. Put them in, cover it up, don't bother them. Wait for 1 day, take a look if there are eggs in the nest. Yeah, one tip is when you put the almond leaves, put a hole in the middle so that the male does not create a bubble nest that's too high, because if the bubble nest is too high, the eggs on top will probably just die because they're not touching the water. You want the bubble nest to be thin, not thick. So make sure there's a gap inside the almond leaves on top, so that, yeah, because if there's a cover like plastic, it will build it very high, and there's a chance the eggs will stick on the top part or die. All right. So, or just crush the leaves into small pieces so he cannot make a big nest under a cover. It's going to be exposed to the air. But If you'll notice, the tops are covered, so there's no chance of it bursting anyway. The eggs are not gonna burst. The bubbles will not burst. So just do that, and yeah, wait for them to hatch. After they will hatch about 2 days. In 2 days, 48 hours after the eggs go to the nest, 2 days they'll start to hatch. Here they're starting to fall down, and the male picks them up and puts them back in. And then maybe tomorrow or 2 days more, they'll be horizontal. Then I'll take the male out and then feed them infusoria, something for them to eat, for 2 more days, and then start introducing the baby brine shrimp. So baby brine shrimp is easy. So I use this. This is 500 ml, exactly the amount of water here. 500 ml, and I use half a teaspoon of, I think this is half. Yeah, half a teaspoon of what we call rock salt. This is not iodized. I use rock salt, the cheap one that you buy in markets. Very cheap. You can get this for, like, in my country, 10 pesos or less. So shake it here, put it there. This enclosure just keeps the eggs from spreading, so that when I siphon, I get pure. I just get the brine shrimp, not mixed with the eggs, because then when I put it here, the eggshells will just pollute the water. So I don't want it to be polluted. So I take a dropper, siphon the brine shrimp and just drop it here. Yeah, I don't even clean them. There's not that much salt. It gets diluted here. And then every day I add maybe this amount of water slowly throughout the day. This is 250 ml. I add water here to keep it clean, and then I siphon off the poop and dirt every day as well, just to keep the water clean. So you need clean water, and you need food, live food for and cover it. The reason I cover it is because mosquitoes that go in and lay their eggs, the mosquito larva will eat the fry. We call it kitty larva mosquito. If any of them gets here, they will eat your fry. So make sure it's covered so that no mosquito can go in and, eat up all your fries. So when you wake up one day and your fries are all gone, it's either you have bad water, which happens when you pollute it with egg. When you try to feed egg, non-living food, you will just pollute the water, and they will die the next day, and they'll disappear. They'll just disappear. Second is if your water, you feed them bad food, they don't eat, they die, or the food pollutes. And what's the other reason why they disappear? The mosquitoes. So keep them covered. This also prevents the cold air from shocking the fry. So the fry gulps air. If it's too cold, it might kill them. That's my theory. So it's to keep the temperature not so cold as well. That's why I cover. So there's nothing. No mosquito, and it's warm air inside. Yep. And that's it. That's my way of breeding. I only breed for a hobby. I'm not a competitor. It's just a hobby to keep me busy during, times like this. I breed them on and off, and I just enjoy taking care, making them grow. And so hopefully after 2 months, I'll have a fresh batch of bettafish, hopefully a few hundreds, and just enjoy. I have a fish pond. I made a new fish pond outside as well, so I'll show that next time. All right, so hope this helps. Hope you have success in your own breeding. Again, buy the brine shrimp, please. Forget the egg yolk. Forget all these crushed pellets. You'll just get disappointed. It's not expensive, this brine shrimp. Buy them in 10 grams. And that's enough to do 1 or 2 or 3 batches. I think that 10 grams is enough for me to raise all these three fries. So, you know, it's probably going to be even cheaper than the egg yolk, because how many egg yolks do you have to keep wasting throughout the month? 1 month you have to feed them. You know, the egg yolks go bad. So just buy the brine shrimp, put them in salt water, wait for 1 day, they will hatch, feed. Easy, right? No aerator. There's no need for aerator. And who cares if the hatch rate is not as big? As long as, you know, I only put littles anyway. So I put a little and I still get a lot of live shrimp. So I don't really care about the hatch rate. And then I only use one per day. So alternate. So that the freshly hatched brine shrimp has the most nutrients during the first 24 hours of hatching. And that's what I want to feed the brine, the little fries. Okay, so hope that's it. That's my way of doing things. So I can breed it in an aquarium, but I cover it with newspaper so they don't get disturbed. Or I can breed in a pail and cover it as well. Whatever I have, you know. And I only have a small kitchen to breed them. All right, thank you. See you next time. Peace.